Never. It's never okay to fire a weapon within the green zone. Is that a trick question? Tasers and I believe batons, but we never really used batons. But I know tasers are for sure. Well, if they would add if they would add a setting like an thing where batons would like stagger an opponent for a split second, then it would be useful. But batons really don't have a use at the moment. PD6 is like non-observance of subordination, so not following orders to superior ranks. For example, say I had a vested order give or a vested officer give me an order, and I decide to completely ignore him and not follow that order. For example, I'm on floor two and they're having a private conversation or something, and they ask me to please quietly just leave the room, and I'm like, no, I don't want to. That's a PD6 right there. Absolutely not. That is no, that's forbidden. That I believe what one would that be? Hang on, I know that one. What PD is that? That would be a PD9. Yeah, that's PD9. So actually, last night I went through those rules, and PD10 was it's forbidden to insult players slash employees of faction. I just looked at them last night. So okay. So yeah, so what's PD9? Because they need to update that on the Discord server now. Because I used the factions Discord to look at it last night.
But once you get clarity, go ahead and let me know.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. So sorry, y'all.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to go through my notes now because they have it wrong in the Discord. Yeah, because PD4 was disrespectful attitude toward colleagues and civilians. I don't understand why they changed it all, but you know, rights fell on top of paper is crazy, Prez. Oh my god, I spent like 30 minutes last night writing all my PD rules down, all nice and neat, and I go.
And you fucked it up, bro. And you fucked. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, you should. I think you do. 5625. Here, I'll put in chat. It's Bad Piggy 5625. Yeah, no, they need to really go ahead and update that within the factions Discord, because that's what I was going off of last night. I'm glad I'm not the one giving this test to people. I would make it much harder. I would be asking very specific questions. For example, during an aggressive RP scenario, when the suspect comes back as wanted, what is your next step? And that would be like, requesting backup. And yeah. I think I think well, actually, first you would do your 10-4 copy, then request backup. But yeah, no, I think I'm gonna join you guys within this part of the faction, because I want to make sure we are getting good officers badged, that people know their stuff. That way, we don't have issues and green tickets on us coming out later on because we didn't train our guys up right. Yeah, absolutely not. That would be a PD8 from my understanding. That's using company for personal purposes. Well, you need to at least maintain 5 arrests, I believe. I don't know if they've changed it, but when I was in PD, you have to get at least 5. Not not just really hanging out in PDG, going out doing your mission patrols, or going doing 10-12s with other officers patrolling the streets and stuff, helping other officers that have questions and stuff. There's a lot of responsibilities. Well, first off, a badge officer cannot go out alone. They must be accompanied by another badge officer or a higher rank of the standard. A badge officer also cannot go out alone with an unbadged officer. Now, when I was in PD previously, I was informed, I don't know if it's been changed, but 2 badged officers can take an unbadged officer with MG permission. But I don't know if they've changed that or not. But but yeah, okay. Well, I don't know what PD4 is, because PD4 is disrespectful attitude toward colleagues and civilians. I don't know what they changed that, so I don't have my notes right. Well, once it helps maintain the professionalism within the faction. We don't want to be disrespectful to our colleagues because we're a team. If we show disrespect, it creates a lot of tension within the faction, and that's what leads to big fights that can lead up to even rebellion. Saying, let's say, a bunch of XPD members end up getting kicked out over it because we're all arguing. For example, if I sit here and tell Perez, "Hey, you are a biatch," that's disrespectful to him.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, honestly, I think.
You get chief seat by that, bro.
Have you watched Ted where he's doing his? Have you ever watched Ted where he's doing his job interview and he says something about banging the dude's wife? He's like, "I'm gonna make you her." Yeah, no, I don't have it wrote down. I know for me it's forbidden insult players / employees of faction. Hang on, it's the using personal vehicles to do a police job, right? Okay, that's important because we can't just use our personal vehicles to go do whatever we want. Not even a 10-6 actually, you know, because say I'm out using a police vehicle to do whatever I want, and there's a pedestrian in distress, and I'm like, nah, I'm taking a PD6 or a 10-6. My bad, 10-6. I'm not gonna help you or whatever. That's gonna look bad on the faction. That's why we can't be doing stuff like that.